Welcome back to my channel. I'm Kathy with Beyond 60. Today we're going to do something kind of fun. I'm going to do the 5 most common mistakes in age-relating makeup that we make on our eyes. And I think you'll find this very interesting. As I've been doing my videos, I haven't been doing them very long, I really noticed when I first started that my makeup was pretty heavy and I needed to make some changes. So I've been on a YouTube vlog and different training with anti-age makeup. You know, being a makeup artist for 40 years and a holistic esthetician, you know, things change a lot. So sometimes you always have to be updating yourself. So I realized what was going on with my makeup, that I hadn't changed it in a long time. So that's what I'm going to share with you today, the 5 things that I see all over YouTube and the mistakes they're making as from coming from being a professional makeup artist. So join me. I think you'll enjoy this. We're going to start. I have already put my makeup on as far as my first coat of, and so we're going to work on my eyes. You can see that I need it. So join me. I'm so glad you stopped by today to see this, and I hope you enjoy it. Leave me a thumbs up, subscribe, and shoot me a comment to see what you liked and what you want to see coming up, because like I said a few weeks ago, I'd like to do something about makeup every Wednesday. See some little blip, maybe eyeshadow technique or cheek or contouring or whatever. And so let's get going. Okay, the first thing I'm going to talk about, the number one, and I have to put my glasses on, so you gotta, the number one is maturing eyes. Let's go over and see what's happening. And I'm a good example. I'm 71 years old. And you can see that this area of my eye is starting to sink in. And that's because of fat loss. And we have fat pads all over our face. I'll put a diagram up to show you of what's happening in different areas as we mature. That's a nice way of saying it. We have fat loss here, but most of all, it's in here, fat loss in the temples, and and the biggest thing is our eyebrows. Of course, they start falling out here, start growing out here. I don't know how that works, but that seems like what happens. Mine have gotten so high, and you know, I had those beautiful ones in when I was younger that just grew together, and you know, we went through the stages of having them real thin and overplucked and you know, and now look, and I have tried so many lash builders and brow builders, but I'm trying a new one, so we'll see what happens. I just started today to see if it works. This one is called Melastin, and we'll see if this one works. But I think one of the most common mistakes is the eyebrow, and people just absolutely do nothing to it. Well, I'm going to kind of show you some different ways, the proper way to shape it as we get older, and try to, as you can see with me, it's coming down and it's following that curve of my face. Well, you don't want it to come down here because it's going to drop this down. And you know, where do people have Botox? They have it here to lift it. So I see people that have this really, I call it either the paisley look or the tadpole, where all their weight of their brow is right here, and then it goes up to nothing. Well, if you have a brow like that, we need to correct it and and shape it in. So let me have it. So we've all seen these, let me take my mirror off here. We've all seen these diagrams, and they say right here and right here, and your art should be on the side of your, well, actually, you know, this starts changing too. So you want to show this not in the corner of the nose, but right here. And you can see that mine is way far over. And this one's not quite as bad. Remember, our brows are fraternal twins, you know. Actually, if our faces, if we were to take one side of our face and put it on the other, we would look totally different, because our faces, each side of our face is so different. And also here we want, so, you know, the big common mistake is people are just bringing this down, which is further bringing this hood down, as you can see with me. And I see all over YouTube, you know, of course they're younger and they're not 71 years old, but how they're putting their transitional color. So this is what I want to really show you, and I want you to all try to do this at home with the analytical side, and look at your brow, because that brow is going to shape your whole face. It's going to make the biggest difference in how you look. So that's step one. So step two is going to be, and here we have, is your concealer or your corrective. And corrective is, as you can see, we have all this discoloration happening here, and when in this little ditch that I was talking about, it's a whole different color. So that needs to be kind of corrected. And sometimes, you know, I'm giving you all the things that we can do, but it's not necessarily you have to do everything. You just have to kind of dissect the information that I give you and see how it pertains to you. What you see is you see someone taking all this concealer all the way. Well, right underneath that ditch is a puff. So what do if we add white or light to a puff? It brings it more out. And we, you know, that's our kidney area, and some days it's not so good. So I'm going to show you how to work with that. I'm going to also show you how to neutralize your eyelid. Now, our eyelids have they start getting very, very thin, and they start sinking in, and this part starts coming over it like a bright light. So even if you don't want to wear makeup every day, if you just want to freshen and make yourself look younger, you can wear either a concealer with powder, with matte powder over it. I'm going to show you some different eye primers, because an eye primer, whether or not you're using a concealer or a primer or whatever, you want to neutralize that, because it just gives you such a youthful appearance. And then kind of lightly powder it down and do whatever you need, but it's like putting makeup on your face. And I've kind of put the makeup on my face today, but we're going to go next week. We're going to cover all the different types of makeup, even for those of you that don't wear makeup. We've just been through COVID. I mean, the last 2-3 years, people didn't need to wear it. I mean, we weren't putting it on, and I was guilty of that too. And we were under so much stress, it really, really took the toll on our faces and our colorations, and the redness, the darkness, the pigmentation. And there's not a better, I tell you, the easiest way to knock 10 years off your age is to put a foundation on. And that's what I'm going to cover. I'm going to cover all the different types of foundations, from light to, so you might find one that works for you. So that's going to be an interesting, hopefully that'll be next week. So back to my eye. So this is the first thing that I want to do, is I want to neutralize that lid. The other one is, is eyeliner. And eyeliner is, I realized right away that my eyeliner was too thick. And you know, our lashes get so thin. And even if, you know, the liners that we're using, you know, it's kind of hard to get down deep in there. And I'm going to show you what to do and it's going to take a kind of a learning curve, because if I was used to wearing a heavy liner and heavy liner underneath, but that heavy liner, as you can see, your eyes start dropping a little bit, and that dark line is going to just make that more prominent. So I'm going to show you my techniques on that. Also, the best thing is to get like a beige pencil, where we used to put black, and so it just brightens up the eye. And of course, the last fifth mistake is where people put shadow. And I'm going to really talk about that, show you some different things. So let's get going. Let's get going on, I'm going to actually start with my, let's see, I have to get my Tin Doctor light out here. And I'm going to be working with my Jane Iredale palette. And this is a really a great way to do this, because this blue in here, okay, instead of, what I'm doing is I'm taking kind of with a concealer brush, and I'm actually, here's where some discoloration is, and it's blue. All right, so let's go back to art school and think, okay, what's the complement to blue? It's orange. Okay, orange. So you want to get that right in that well. There's also this little vein over here that you want to hide. So I'm putting this color, and people think, oh, well, let's just get a light color and just wash it all over. But you notice that I'm not getting it on this bump here. I want it up. So we can lift that eye. You can see how much better that looks. And again, I'm in that well and we've got several different, I use several different. We've got one that has more orange in it, which is Jane Iredale, I think it's called Enlighten 1, and then we've got one Enlighten 2 that does a terrific job on lightening this area and making it, you know, just not so dragged down. So let me get my other one in there, and I'm just taking it right in that well, and again we start getting darker over here. So we want to, and a lot of times too, it's nice to warm it up with your finger. Now I'm going to go back, because I'm going to do a little bit of shadow today. I'm going to actually go back and kind of clean this up after I get the makeup, to cover any dropout from the mascara. So if you've got purple, it just kind of gives you a little area, yellow. Let me read this and it'll help you. Yellow cancels red, peach cancels blue, purple, and gray, lilac cancels yellow, and beige for all-purpose concealing. So it's giving you, you can tell mine's well used, it's giving you an all-out palette for your whole face, because I'm going to take some and put it right here too. And this, because what's this? This is a ditch too. These are ditches. So sometimes, like down here with your nasolabial folds and your less is more. So I haven't said all this yet. So that's my Jane Iredale corrective colors. And I used a conceal brush, and it's just very dense, and it's specially made, and we've got all kinds of them. I'm sure you have one in your makeup drawer yourself. So the next thing I want to do is I want to, I'm going to make sure I have my right brush. We're going to talk about brows and what I hope to accomplish here. I have been trying a lot of different products because I've been watching a lot of brow videos, trying to see what the best thing and give you other options. I don't have a lot of luck. I've tried so many different pencils, and if you know of a really good one, please leave me a comment below. But they just don't have enough pigment. But what I want you to do is I am going to take a pencil. Let's see what I have here. And we're going to mark out. We're going to mark out this line, okay? And this is what I want you to do. Yeah, see this one? Okay, we'll mark this out. Because this look that being so far apart gives me a really spaced out look. You know, I have Spock eyebrows anyway. But the farther apart, you just look like you're kind of out of it. The other thing, and this is a great, let me see if I can find a better pencil here. I grabbed this one that's crummy. Like I said, I can't find a decent pencil. Unless they're gels. Let's see what this one does. All right, a little bit better. Then I saw this technique on YouTube, and I'm sorry that I can't remember who did it. But she made an X. So she took, from this line, she like drew here, and then she took the bottom and went up. And I will try and find that video, but I thought this was ingenious because she kind of just put that placement in there. Now, a lot of you use pencils. I've been working with brow gels. I've been working, they've got some wonderful stencils for those of you that really don't have anything. There's a stencil where you'll put it on, you'll have a whole collection, and you can find the stencil that closely shows your eye shape. You put it on there and you just powder the color in, and those are wonderful. I tried one this weekend, and I'm going to show it to you. It is, I saw it on YouTube, and excuse me, there we go. This, okay, and it's called Brow Tattoo. And what you do is you take the applicator and you fill in your whole brow and how you would shape it, and then you leave it for about 3 hours or even longer if you want, and then you tear it off. It's almost like a piece of tape, and then you've got brow for 3 days. And I thought that was very unique, but the problem was it took a lot of my brows in here off of it. So and I don't have much to give up, so back to that. So anyway, back to my drawing this in. So we went, let me get my mirror here. So we went from the top here over, and then we went here up to the arch. So it was like we were Xing and I'm making a big mess here. But I just wanted to kind of have you show this. I will find that. I will really try to link it down below so you can watch it. But what I'm going to be working with today is a brow gel. And I really can make, because I wear such a heavier brow, let me find my brow pencil. I'm going to, let's find this here. I even bought this little device on, now this wasn't for brows, this was for eyeliner, and I haven't had much good use with that. I'm looking for my brow gel. I need my glasses on here, pardon me. Okay, I'm going to be using, this is just, I got this from Tattoo Studio by Maybelline, and it's in my color. And because I like I said, I have just been trying different things on the brows to try to get some advanced education so I could share with you all on what to do. Of course, you can have them tattooed and you can have them microbladed. A lot of times I've seen a lot of them that don't look very good, and it's kind of because I'm considering having mine done, but I get so nervous that it just won't be right, and I'll look like somebody got me with a Kino crayon. So we don't want that look. All right, so I'm going to take, and I'm using a real dense brush, and it has a, okay, and it's very strong. But what I want to do is I would like to draw on the front of my lines. I need to make hair-like strokes. To fill that in. And you can see, and I'm using like a brunette color. You always want to kind of go a shade lighter. All right, so I'll do any cleanup later. But that's the first thing you can see. And then I'm going to draw the line of where I'm going to put it. So, you know, so we can color inside the lines. And if you're really drooping out here, you probably have very little. You want to lift this more. So I'm going to come in here. And this eyebrow is so much higher than the other one. So I want to actually bring that arch down and not leave that arch so high, because it's not doing anything attractive for my eye once we started in this more mature ball game. Then I'm going to kind of just place it on top, and it's so much easier. You know, your skin gets dry, and all right, so let me get some. It's tough for me to work here with these makeup mirrors, because I've got one good eye and one bad eye. So this eyebrow will probably look good, and the other one will look strange. I've got macular in the other eye, and you know, that's something that is very common as we get older, is having macular, and that's why I have been working with cream shadows. So you can, even if you don't see well, you can put your shadows on, because you can feel it on the bone. So I'm going to talk more about that as we get through. So you can see how this one is starting to take shape. And I will fine tune this I actually bring in my concealer brush, and I'll do that at the end too, but to do any kind of cleanup. So, like I said, it is so important, and I'm going to brush up. For those of you that have more lashes than me, I'll show you what else we have that is just ideal, and we have, and I've got all different brands here, but Jane Iredale has. So you will take it's like a brow mascara, and sometimes that's all you need on your brow, and you just kind of want to brush it up. Now, I like a fuller brow because my eyes are so dominant, but you just set it on there. Now look at the difference between this eye and this eye. And this is the one thing that everyone leaves out, is trying to shape that brow and make it frame your face. It's when I taught a series of makeup applications called Enhance, Defined, and Decorate. They weren't very good. They were kind of at the beginning of my channel. And I'm going to redo those because, boy, there's so much to learn about. Like I'm trying some new stuff today to see if it comes out better. I got to tell you guys what a goof I am. I did the best video, the same video that I'm doing now, on, I think it was Monday. I was so proud of it, I forgot to hit record. Oh God, was I upset. So, but anyway, so let's get this other eyebrow done. And I take my little pot, and this little brush came with this, but there's all different things. I have, I use eyeshadows to do this. My Saint, draw this in, and then out. My Saint makeup is using the bronzers and the contours. They work great. And I'm going to do another full makeup of Saint here pretty soon. I just am loving that company. I've just found it. And that's the makeup that I have on today. This eyebrow has to be lifted a little bit more because it's lower. And I'm just kind of stroking these in with hair-like strokes. Like I said, working with them, and this is just Maybelline. The ones that I have with Jane Iredale were discontinued, so that means they're probably coming out with something super. And again, I'm lowering that arch. You want to, if you've got a very strong arch, you need to bring it down a little bit so you don't look spacey, because the hair's falling out underneath. All right. All right, I think we're getting this pretty good. Maybe a little bit more right in here. I don't. The other thing I want to talk to you about is, I've had, those of you that have been following me have know that I still have. I've been in this business for over 40 years as a makeup artist, studio makeup artist, and a fashion and image designer, and a holistic practitioner esthetician. So I think that's why I started this channel, because I love following YouTube and all things, but everybody is so young. And really to address, even with Jane Iredale, again, we're working with really young faces. And I love wearing makeup. I'm not afraid of it. I don't like all the rules that come with it. Don't wear any shimmer or this. I'm going to show you where to put your shimmer. Don't wear this. If you've got the face and that's your style, I'm going to show you how to properly do it. And it's kind of fun to practice, and maybe it's not something you do every day, but let me put this away. And but it kind of gives you, some days you just want to be special, and you know, we all have, none of us want to get older, but it's all in the state of mind. And you know, like with me, at my age, I'm still more active in my business than I've ever been, and I've always done colors for people, teaching them what proper colors to wear, and that's the most important thing too, is putting the right color next to your face to make you look more youthful. All right, what are we going to do next? Okay, so we finished the brows. Now what we want to do is we want to, and I'll go two different ways. I'll show you two different ways. I'm going to show you with a concealer, and I'll show you with and see, so you have a good idea of because what happens by not setting this, in the same way with your foundation too, is by not setting this and putting a primer on there, your shadow is going to mix with the colors in your eye, so you're not going to have a good representation of the color that you're putting on. And it's also going to skip, it's going to sink in, it's going to absorb pigment, so you're not going to have a look. And I'm going to take, let me find, I had all this organized. One of my favorites, let me get my glasses on here, is, okay, this is, let me see. All right, I already must have put it somewhere. Well, let's go ahead and take some of my concealer. And I'm going to take a little bit of, I'm just kind of mixing out of my Iredale pot. And between the yellows and the purples. Let me get my mirror back here too. I like to cover this. I thought it would be a good eye to get my eyeliner tattooed a few years ago, and that didn't turn out very well. I wanted a black green that, you know, I like to, when I'm working with eyeliners, to work with the outer rim of your iris, because your eyes are of course they're the windows to your soul, and to just really enhance the colors of your eye, because that's what people are staring, you know, they're into your eyes. And I like to take those eye colors and just frame it around, and that's part of what I do in my color analysis. I do hair, skin, and eyes, and how they're coordinated together. So this is what I did with just concealer. All right, so let's try, like I said, my excuse me, my favorite one I've hidden. This is too light. I love the MAC ones. I have used those, and I'm just gonna use this one for right now. My favorite one is called Painterly, all right, so I'm gonna work it in. You can see this is a little bit darker, but the nice things about these is you can actually use them as shadows, and but it's setting. I think that one's too dark for me. But if you had a darker complexion, you could come in and put this all over your eye and use it just to cover and give you a little bit of color. This one has a little bit of yellow. We used to have, just a few months ago, that I was using by Jane Iredale, our all right, so this is my primer from MAC, and again, there's this, you know, everybody has them nowadays. I have probably I've got tons of them that I've been ordering in my huge makeup kit to try different ones. I just got some in this weekend from Louise. Let's see, let me see what it's called. P. Louise, that's what it is. And I got some some brows, just the things to just do a, you know, an analysis on. I got some from Sephora, and just experimenting to find out which one I really like that I can refer to you guys. And even if I don't sell it in my store, I can always send you. So you can see this is a little bit lighter. So this is, I put the concealer, and then what I would do with the concealer is I would take like let me get a brush here. I would take like a flat, dense brush, and I would set it with powder, the concealer. Now, you can also do this with your makeup base or lighter. When I do your analysis of what colors are best for you, I always give you 2 makeup colors, and in Saint we call them highlights. So you could actually use that too if your eyes aren't real oily. But usually when you're getting a little over 60s, 70s, you don't have a problem with oily eyes. So that's what I've done here. So we'll just kind of mix them back up and match them up. So this, I'm using Amazing Base, a light shade from Jane Iredale. And I have these little pots that are little sample sizes that I give to all my clients when I do their makeup, so they can use this just for that. And put a little bit here so we can control our fallout. So that's what we're working with your shadow base. And again, it's real important too. And let's say you want a little bit of liner. We're going to go into liner now. Even if you just neutralized your lids, just what I've done, just takes and put your brows on, and whatever you decide to put on your face and your lips and a little mascara, you're done. And it does work. It just takes so many years, because there's nothing unattractive as we get older to have all those spots. And we think, you know, we're putting our makeup on like we did when we were young, and we didn't have all the pigmentation and the red and the lines and the ditches. You know, so just, and our face is 3-dimensional, so we don't want to make it one flat color, because that's not what it does. You know, you want to show your bone structure, and that's what I teach in my Define class. I think that's number 2. But again, I'm going to redo those 3 videos. They're lengthy, but there's a lot of good information, but I didn't have the right camera set up, so I was always showing you the top of my head. The next thing we're going to go into is eyeliner. And this has been one of my struggles, because as you can tell, when I had my eyeliner tattooed, it was pretty fat. And when you have, and we're all used to wearing that heavy eyeliner both above and under, well, it is taking up our critical space of right here, our lower lid. This needs to be light. And by putting up a thick liner, when we open our eyes, it's just sinking that way back in. The trick is getting it thin enough and down at the lash base. Now, a lot of things a lot of techniques of waterline lining is great, but it really irritates my eyes, even with the best of the pencils, because all of the cosmetics that I work with are green, because again, I'm holistic, and I don't want coal tar or formaldehyde or chemical ingredients in anything. And so if you heard me preach about this before, so there's several ways we can do it. I know some people like to use pencils. Well, sometimes I will actually, on people, if that's their choice, I'm looking for my favorite brush here. Okay, I'll be right with you here. I've got 2 of them by Jane Iredale, and you see this one is, because you can't do your liner like this. You've got to lay that brush on top of your lashes and drag it down, and not even try to do it in one stroke. You just want to just kind of work that in. There's nothing on here right now, and I like to use this to get a thicker one of applying it. You can use, I sometimes will take the water use your shadow. That way you have more choice, and it's multi-use. You could actually use that brow gel that I just put on my eyebrows, because it's going to set and dry. So that's a good thing. And I've tried I've got quite a few liners here. And the one thing that I don't like about them is, I have one by Bobbi Brown. You know, I mean, my God, there's so many of them out there. Liquid eyeliners. I'm going to use this one today. I'll show you. And you want to lay it on top. So, like I was just going to say, if you wanted to take a pencil, let's play like it was this pencil. This is just and you can take your pencil like this, because what's happening is when I try to do it, my lid's moving, and so you can do that technique. And I've got some really good pencils that sometimes, if I'm doing a different makeup look, I have my deep green. But again, I want to cover up this tattoo that turned such horrible color, and one side was so much fatter than the other, and it was just not a good experience. So first of all, I'm going to use a liner, and I've got several that I work with. We have some Jane Iredale, and we have some beautiful, and I'll list some of this stuff. So I'm going to set this brush and right at the base of my lashes. And the outer corner, I do like to I don't like to carry it all the way down. I'm using 2 different ones here. I like to almost lift that corner up. Remember that our guideline we have here? And I like it right in here. So you can see how fine that is. And again, it's taken me, it's been a real challenge for me not to just get that heavy line. All right, let's try, I'm just gonna continue with this one just for, because it's quick and you're getting the idea. So again, we lay that, whatever you're using, the technique is the same. This needs a little bit more juice. I hope you're enjoying this, you're getting something out of it. Again, my biggest thing is showing things that I have problems with. I'm going to be also not only just working on me. All right, let's get this in here. And this eye's hard because I can't see it out of it. Because when we open our eye, because our lashes have gotten so thin, you see that white underneath. And that's what I'm trying to, sometimes I will even come at the bottom. And you'll see how I blend this. All right, a little bit more here. Now, some of your liners, like this one that I'm using, is, let me find out what it is. I believe it's Thrive. Yes, this one is Thrive, and it's okay. It's a little shiny, but you can, okay, now you can start seeing the definition of what's happening. We've set this in, we've intensified our lashes, and kind of given more depth here. All right, the next step, all right, so we are at the shadow stage, and this is a big problem because, you know, everyone on YouTube, oh gosh, you know, there's so many wonderful brushes out there, and I'm going to get my favorites here. The other thing that works real good too, back to eyeliner, is this is my Saint brush. This is for doing your eyebrows, but it's a great eyeliner. And Saint's got a really nice black eyeliner. But again, you can go in, because not everyone can wear the black, you can go in and use your eyeshadows. You can use your eyeshadows for your brow. You can even spray your brush with some setting spray and work it that way. So, you know, you can really be thrifty with learning what you can and can't use. All right, so we're gonna take, let's see, what do I have here? Get all my brushes put away so I don't be crazy. I work a lot, and I'm gonna do another video of working just with cream shadows, and I had worked with that in my previous video, my previous Saint video. I was working with some of the bronzers and stuff as your transitional colors and so forth, just for a real natural look. Today I'm going to be using their colors, their actual eyeshadow colors. One thing that, let me have a little drink here. one thing that I find, and I've known this in my whole career, but I never thought that I would be, that it would happen to me, of course. We all of a sudden one day we're 70 years old. I am all about mattes. Mattes are hard to find. And I've always, since I've been a color analysis and makeup artist, I've always made your palettes custom design. So I would take a palette and kind of build it around your eye color, and then we would do a natural look, and then we would do a enhance. Now my eyes are kind of a deep hazel green. So you think, okay, let's take this color wheel again, and what's the best? And I will kind of, when I do my shadow, when we just do shadows, I will put my pages up that show the different colors of shadows that are best for the eye colors. But the first thing that I want to do is I want to take a real dense brush, and this is Saint. I've got them with, when I'm working with Saint, I like to work with my Saint brushes. When I'm working with Jane Iredale, I like to work with my Jane Iredale. And then I've got other ones. I just got some in from BK Beauty, and I have to admit, boy, they've got some nice brushes. And a lot of the people I follow really like them too. So the first thing that I'm going to do is, let me get my mirror, wherever I put it, is I'm going to dust a neutral color. Well, I've kind of already done that with my powder on setting my, and this color I'm using, again, it's a neutral matte. I like to, here's what most people do. They take their brush and they put it in their transition color. And this is clean. And they just start going like this. Oh, and then when they open up their eye, it's all in the crease. Well, that's not what we're trying to do when we're doing more mature makeup, because that crease is there. We just tried to cover it up, and we don't want to look like we've sunken, our eyes are getting deeper and deeper, sunk into our head. We want to, I always start with tube skills are a little bit challenged. All right, so we started, what I was talking about is I like to use, if you have warm coloring, maybe a softer peach in here, but we want to lift this eye this way. Again, we're working here. You know, we don't want our shadow all the way down here, nor do we want, so we're working more this way. And to put that color in, you want to dot it in. Sometimes I will take a tougher brush, a stronger one, just to put the color in. Everything's falling here. Okay. Let's see, this is a little bit more denser. And this is my, it doesn't say. So I'm going to take, like I said, a little bit, and I'm going to tap it in there. So I'm actually reaching the bone. I'm doing really light right now. I'm going to come in and intensify this in just a minute. So let's take a little bit softer. And so then when we have it properly, we can start blending it. And you can take your blending brush. But I want to lift this bone. All right, let me get my glasses on for a second. Wherever they may be. We lost him. All right. so you can see. And then I like to buff it up like here. And we're gonna go ahead. And so we don't have, we're in the proper, let me go with a little different color here. So for the camera's sake. This has got, because I have kind of warm, cool, warm coloring, and I'm gonna work this up here. So we're filling in, you know, this is so bright. And then when you look at people, it just looks like it's a big stadium light hooking over their lid. And I see that all the time. And again, because they're going like this, but they're not getting the placement high enough. And I like to use more plum browns. I'm kind of working with different colors here to see which one I can get that shows best on the camera. I think this is Lullaby. And we just start lifting it so it's coming over that bone. And so we have kind of saved this space to keep it light. And that's, you know, light will bring out. And what I see is so many people, not so many people, but a lot of people have a tendency to take a real shimmer or glitter and put on that eye and make it real dark. Well, that's just sinking that eyelid back in. So, you know, that's we can reserve that for our shimmers, and I'll show you at the end. So let me get that in a little bit more now that I decided what color I'm going to stay with. And I'm sorry that I'm blocking you. Let me make sure I'm in here. Okay. And again, we're lifting it, and you can also, continue up. If you're using more browns, if you want to kind of contour. So that's one side. Let's get the other side done. And let's try this again. I want to, let me get on the camera, tap it in on that bone. So this one's a much better color. And then start working it up. And once we've worked it up, then we can start windshield wiper like everybody start with. But we want to make sure that it is in the right place. And again, where it doesn't look like you've got, stadium lights hooking over. All right, so let's take a little bit more of you can also take a clean brush. All right, so and then I like to come down and kind of get right in this little area here in both places. Not too much here. I want it soft there, but all right, so let's see if we're starting to match up here. Like I said, that I'm going to start working on some of my clients and filming them because I can put my cheaters on and do their makeup and really make a difference. What I've done, which is going to be kind of fun, is for 40 years I've done people's colors, as I just mentioned. And I've always done things, I was doing colors right out of fashion design school based on the Monsell color system. Well, I always took your hair, skin, and eyes because that was what was traditionally used in art classes in the 40s and 50s was the Munsaw color. I mean, it goes back that far. But then Carol Jackson started Color Me Beautiful and simplified things and put everybody into 4 categories. Oh, and that's kind of grown. Now we have like 16 categories, because it all depends too on what's your value of your coloring. Now I've got a contrasting value. Somebody that maybe was contrasting when I did their colors 35 years ago, and now they've got white hair. What do? So I've got a couple of clients that I did several years ago, like 35 years ago, and they're white, so I got their palette in their new palette, so we're going to be doing their makeup according to them with the silver hair and how it has changed their coloring. So I think you're gonna really enjoy that. All right, a little bit more here. And like I said, this is very basic, okay? I just want to, I just wanted to come on here and show you the 5 common mistakes people are doing in their mature makeup. Now, we can also, you want a little bit more depth, or maybe you don't want anything. I can kind of take in a darker color, and I could go, and I just kind of start working it up, and then I kind of take it, and I'm using shadow as my under eye color and not that line. So I'm just kind of working in the corner. Of course, I can't use do a wing. I'm a little beyond past that, but this is kind of a simulant, so it's just kind of, so you can see how we're further pulling that up. And I'm using Saint shadows. I can list the colors, and you're, some of you might be thinking, oh, I wish I could, I wish she could help me with my makeup. Well, I can. And what I do is I have you send me a picture of without makeup, about 3 feet from a window. And I want to see every color on your face. Then I want to see one with your makeup on. So that way I can give you a really good analysis. I can do color match of what colors would work for you in the Saint collection. Or if you want a Jane Iredale, that's fine too, we can do that. But as you can see, I've just added a little bit of depth. And I've used that line to still get that under eye, but not have it so prominent as a liner. And people that have had their liners tattooed, I just, my advice is don't line that under eye, because they have a tendency to go all the way over and all the way over, and then they just condense that eye down to a real small eye. So let's go ahead and kind of blend this out here. And they might not match, but and I'm just using a nice clean brush and then working it up. All right, now, how you guys are saying, okay, so where can we put our shimmer? Oh, but you're too old. You can't wear shimmer. Oh, Bill. What do you mean? Come on, that's like wearing white, after, before Labor Day. But, do what you want to do. So I'm going to go into my, I'm going to be using Saint. And what I want to do is I want to bring out the gold in my eye. So I'm going to take some shimmer, And I'm just going to, let's see. Let's see, is that going to be bright enough? And then you can come and bring it around here too. And that's a bright color. Let's get that toned down a little bit. You can use your finger for this too. Sometimes it's better. Now, what did that do? That just brought that eye out better. And again, I'm not afraid, because usually our wrinkles aren't right here. They're on the outer edge. And I'm just kind of, and this is a shimmer, so this is not as much as one of those high frost ones. Let me get this blended. We can also take a little bit of it and just kind of rim it here. We can rim it here to just kind of set that bone. I haven't put my finishing touches on my makeup yet. All right, so we're going to put some mascara on. I'm going to come back with my my concealer, because I want to kind of do a little bit of cleanup, see what I have. Let me get a clean brush. All right. Oops, I'm in your face again. Okay, so I'm going to take this is my MAC Dense new brush that I just got. I also have one. Oh, I thought, you know what? My brushes are pathetic. I had to go through, but I think between here and my shop, I must have 250 brushes. But you know, you know your favorites. And okay, I'm going to take my my Saint palette, and this is my Saint palette. Everything is cream based, so everything's in a small palette. So you can, all your shadows, they're double. But I'm going to take my color and I'm just going to work it in. I'm kind of mixing them here. I'm doing a little bit of cleanup. And then I want to go into my blushers. Well, I'm going to take my, okay. I'm going to take my bronzer and I'm just going to just kind of hit it. And again, you don't need, I have created contouring because you don't want that white neck that we used to have in the 60s. You don't want that. And then I can take my all right, what am I going to do? Let's try some Lily here. And here's, I know I'm not only supposed to be doing eyes, but I'm getting ready to go to work, so I want some lily. And again, we're not doing that, you know, that where you put this, you look like your grandma, because I'm a great grandma. But I'll tell you what, I don't want to look like her. So that's what I've done. I'm just kind of working, and I'm working with brushes that they're dense, and these are the Saint brushes. So I'm going to put a little mascara on, and I am going to be, first of all, I have brows that, I have lashes that need to be curled. And so I just curl in the old-fashioned way. I know there's different ways you can. All right, so the first thing that I do, which I absolutely love, is my, let me find it here, is my Jane Iredale Lash Primer. And honest to goodness, since I have found this, I haven't found anything as good, because I've used a lot of different primers. But this does not have formaldehyde or coal tar, which cause irritation to the eye. And like I said, I have irritation. So I'm going to take it, and you can also use this at night for conditioning your lashes to keep them nice and soft. And when they're nice and not brittle, they'll grow better. So I don't want to be covering you guys up again. Remember, I'm still on YouTube 101. All right, let's put a little bit more. And you can do coats of this. Today I'm only going to do one coat. I'll kind of explain what, and you just want to get it from the very base and bring it up. All right, and then I'm going to take her shadow, her Beyond Lash. This is her new mascara from Jane Iredale. And it's a tubing mascara. And I just learned what a tubing mascara was. So this brush is strange. I hated it at first. But you want to just go and you want to just twirl it up like this, because there's little polyfibers in here that are encompassing the lashes that are making them look thicker and longer. And I'm sorry, I like mascara on the bottom lashes. All right, let me take my little let's see where it is. Just my separator here. In case you want to go back, put another coat of primer on, and then but you can tell that it's getting a lot better. So let's do the other eye. And like I said, I'm just going to put one coat for today, but you can go back and do several coats. I've spent enough time with you guys already. This eye is shorter. Maybe that new stuff that I started using. I have tried so many, and I have to tell you that I quit using several brands that had, and I always say this wrong, there's a hormone ingredient that they use for glaucoma, prolastotin and what they have found that was written up in the Journal of Dermatology is that it ages. It destroys your fat pads in your eye. So, and they've showed pictures of it. And I just thought, I can't be selling this in my salon. So I have been on the lookout for ones that didn't have that ingredient in it. And, you know, of course all the good ones have them. But I see that people are getting aware of this. Alright, let's get some mascara on here. We got the primer. This is lash conditioner. There's a link on my, either my website or my Facebook page, or YouTube page, that gives you a link to Jane Iredale, and it will, you can do your shopping there and get all their, they always have a gift with purchase and all kinds of things going on. So again, we're, see the shape of this? Like I said, I hated it, but it goes with a curve of your lashes, because you're supposed to, with the tubing, there. So after I figured that out, all right, let's take this and kind of work it. I like to do this instead of, you know, the old needle trick. That's not safe. But these right in here tend to get clumpy. Stick together, they have a whole, they're all friends and they want to hang together. All right, a little bit more coat over here. And I think we're done. So what did we accomplish? We talked about the 5 most mistakes that people make in their aging. I don't like to say that word. More mature makeup. And these are the things that I've come up with that I see. I see them on YouTube, not from the professionals, but, and that was your brows, concealer, eyeliner. Okay, where's my list? And my glasses. Okay, yes, primer, brows, concealer, eyeliner, and shadow, those mistakes. And so I hope, you know, just sit down and really do an analysis of your face, like I showed you how to do. What are your brows saying? The shape of them, what kind of message are they non-verbally saying when someone looks at you? It's just like, you know, what your clothes say. And so look at them and say, all right, now what do we need to do to accomplish to make this hood go away? And, you know, what are the best things? So if you liked my video, please hit the share and the thumbs up, and subscribe and that bell if you want to see some of my other ones coming up. And if you think somebody would love to see it, you know, again, share it with them, because like I said, I'm getting better at these, and I'm trying to get better. It's been a real learning curve as far as social media goes for me, you know, because like I said, I started in this business when we didn't even have internet. So it's been a real joy, and I have a lot to share. So thank you so much. I know this video's long because I'm a jabber. I like to talk and tell you things. So thank you so much for spending your little bit of time with me, and I'll see you soon.